With the NFL season now underway, it is a good time for me to release my first ever YouTube video. My first video will be a Super Bowl 53 prediction. I would like to go ahead and ask you guys to like and subscribe this video for more content in the future, along with following all of my Twitter accounts that are listed in the description. There's been a lot of surprises so far in the first 2 weeks of the season, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being led by 35-year-old quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. Veteran wide receiver Deshaun Jackson is also leading the league in receiving yards, which is something that I did not expect. Even though the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been a pleasant surprise to start the season, I do not think they will be able to retain this success. An unfortunate surprise to me is the New York Giants, who are now 0-2 on the year and cannot punch the ball into the end zone. Wide receiver Odell Beckham has 15 catches in the first 2 games after coming off a season-ending injury in 2017. However, as impressive as Beckham has been, he has simply not been able to get into the end zone in the first 2 games, which is something the Giants will need him to do if they want to be able to go to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately for Giants fans, I do not think that the Super Bowl will be going back to the Big Apple in 2018, largely due to the 0-2 start. 2 AFC teams that have surprised me are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins. Second-year quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been nothing short of spectacular in the first 2 games. He has thrown for 10 touchdowns, which would put him on pace for 80 touchdowns for a whole season's of work. Unfortunately for both Chiefs and Dolphins fans, I think the success will be short-lived, more so for Dolphins fans. Ultimately, I think the division winners in the AFC will be the Patriots, the Jaguars, the Steelers, and the Broncos. I think the 2 wild cards for the AFC will be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Chiefs will go into Denver in wild card weekend and lose to Case Keenum and the Broncos, while the Baltimore Ravens will go into Pittsburgh and lose to Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. In the divisional round of the playoffs, I think Denver will go into New England and lose, while the Pittsburgh Steelers will go into Jacksonville and lose to the Jaguars. I think in 2018 we will have a rematch of the 2017 AFC Championship, but it will be in Jacksonville this time instead of New England, and I think the Jaguars will go to the Super Bowl this year instead of New England as well. Now that we have the playoff picture in the AFC figured out, it is time to go to the NFC, which is the conference my favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings, play in. While I do think the Minnesota Vikings will win their division and get to the playoffs, I do not think that we will be able to get to the Super Bowl this season, unfortunately. I think that the NFC division winners will be the Vikings, the Saints, the Eagles, and the Rams. I think the wild card teams in the NFC will be the Green Bay Packers, of course, led by Aaron Rodgers, and I think the Jimmy Garoppolo-led 49ers will be able to sneak in as well. When the NFC playoffs play out in the wild card round, I think Jimmy Garoppolo will go into New Orleans and lose to the Saints, while Aaron Rodgers will go into Minnesota, division rival, and still lose to Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. In the divisional round, I think the 4-seed New Orleans Saints will travel to the 1-seed Rams and lose in LA to Jared Goff and company, while Kirk Cousins will lead the Minnesota Vikings into Philly and unfortunately succumb to the Eagles in 2018 like they did in 2017, hopefully just less embarrassing. I think in the 2018 NFC Championship game, we will have the Eagles play the Rams in LA, and I think the Rams will come out victorious. Now that we have our Super Bowl prediction of the Jaguars and the Rams, it is time for me to tell you who I think will win. Ultimately, when you look at both of these teams, the Jaguars and Rams, they have very elite defenses. To me, the big difference between the Rams and the Jaguars is the Rams have a very elite offense as well, while the Jaguars are led by quarterback Blake Bortles. While Blake Bortles did almost beat Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game in Gillette Stadium, I simply do not think he will be able to beat Sean McVay and Wade Phillips' team in Atlanta on the biggest stage. Saying this, I think Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks, and Aaron Donald, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, all of them will go in to Atlanta in Mercedes-Benz Stadium and be able to beat the Jaguars on February 3rd. So my Super Bowl prediction is that the Rams will beat the Jaguars in Atlanta on February 3rd, somewhere around the score of 24-10 area. I would like to thank you guys for watching this video as well to follow me on my Twitter accounts. If you guys did not already know, I sell signed jerseys and signed memorabilia. You can hit that page up on Twitter at signedjerseys_. Thank you for the support and have a great day.